Hey, you, welcome to today's video. In this video, I'm going to simply share with you how to modulate your stress. And that's a fancy way of saying how to control your stress. Because if you're like me, you probably hit a point in your life where you're like, I don't want any stress anymore. And that actually happened to me. And I had no stress. But when I didn't have stress, I didn't have motivation and I didn't have a purpose. And every day was way longer than the days that were stressful. Versus when I'm the most stressed out and I actually can ground it, it's the best motivation to get shit done, and I don't even have to try. It kind of just happens naturally, and at the end of the day, I'm like, that was the best day ever. So what I'm gonna do in this video is share with you a very simple download I got from ayahuasca. And the funniest thing about this was I didn't even sit with ayahuasca. I think I smoked weed one night at a friend's house, and Aya just showed up, and I'm like, hi, what are we doing here? And this download was insane. So let's get started. So the first thing I learned in that download was it showed me this. I hope you guys can see this on the screen. So it pretty much showed me like, here's reality, right? And we'll even put it in a box because the example it gave me is like, it was like Sonic or Sonic the Hedgehog or Mario, Super Mario Brothers. So essentially, as you play these games, the timeline moves, right? So this is your TV screen. Once you can't see this area anymore, you can't go back, right? So, and you're like, how does this relate to stress, Chris? Let me show you. So, when we're the most stressed out, we are sitting over here or we are sitting over here, right? See if you guys can see that. So, we're either sitting here with our back up against the wall, we're so far in front of this wall that we're like, what's going on? I'm lost. I don't know what to do. I'm doubting myself and I followed my intuition and what do I do next, right? If that sounds familiar, this video is definitely for you. So what happens is, this is the timeline. So this is as the day's going on, it's pressing forward. If we're stuck and we're not moving, we feel this line called stress. This is the timeline pushing us forward. And say, for instance, we need to finish a client project and we're like, I'm feeling languished today. I know I need to do stuff, but I don't want to do anything. And then this timeline is pressing us. And even though we try to rest, we're like, I can't stop thinking about that client's project. That is stress working for you. And instead of being like, I hate this stress, please go away, use it as motivation to get the job done. Now, for the flip, so that you guys can really understand this concept is, imagine the timeline still here by the first buddy. We'll call that the first buddy. I like that. But, say we had stress, we had motivation, we got so far ahead of ourselves that we're out here and the timeline's still back here. So what happens is, this is another stressful situation because you're like, I followed my intuition, I did all the work, now I'm here, and you're so far ahead of the timeline that you feel doubt, you feel confusion, and you're like, I don't know what to do because essentially this wall is pushing forward, giving you signals from behind, and then over here's the future, but there's nothing pulling you yet, right? Because once this timeline pushes here, then it starts pushing us and it also starts pulling us. And I didn't plan this for the video, but there's like this perfect zone. Actually, we'll leave that little buddy there. So that little buddy's still there, but I would say right here, right in the middle there, that dotted line. See if we can see that. Yeah, see that dotted line? That is the zone of perfect stress and not having to worry about what the future brings. And by this, I mean something very specific. It's almost this feeling where you have light motivation, so you have just a little bit of stress pushing you forward, but you also know where the next side is, so it's pulling you that way too. And what we call this is like flow state, momentum, because essentially what we've done is our back's not up against the wall anymore, right? We'll call this the wall. It's pushing forward and it's not pushing us. Now we're ahead of it, moving with it. So we have a force pushing us, and then we're here now, and we have a force pulling us. So we're never lost, we're never confused, we're never overwhelmed, we never have way more to do than we can possibly do in the moment. What we actually have is a solid balance, right? Because pendulums swing, future, past, timeline, we're in the middle here. So we're in this perfect pendulum of we gotta push, we gotta pull. We're using stress in order to motivate us and get the job done a little bit quicker. Because believe me, having no stress, you get nothing done. It kind of sucks, right? I love stress. But essentially, this model helps you understand like, If that stress is too overwhelming, you're probably forgetting very simple things that you need to do, or you're probably missing something that will create a great impact or change in your life, if that makes sense. So if you feel a ton of stress and anxiety and you feel overwhelmed, your back's up against the wall over here, and as you it's pushing you forward and you're resisting it, and all you got to do is do the few things that you feel stressed about to get ahead of it. And then once you're here, find that middle ground. If you get lost, you get confused, you start feeling doubt, you're probably, if here's center, you're probably over here and you can't see what's over here where my hand's at, right? But if you find this perfect balance where time is pushing you forward and then the future is pulling you forward too, you're going to find endless flow states. You're going to have minimal stress, but enough stress. And that's where you can modulate on, like, that's not enough. I need a little bit more. Let's get closer to the timeline as it moves. But if you find that perfect balance, you'll have nice motivation. You'll be you'll be able to see the future and where you're going. And you're going to work with two forces instead of one that's stressing you the hell out and you're getting nothing done and you're overwhelmed and you're wasting all your energy on just balancing your nervous system. Or if you're like me and you were all or nothing, then you'd get so far ahead of yourself that you'd be like, now that I'm here, I have no idea what to do. And then you'd have to wait for the timeline to catch back up. And then you're in this game of like, I'm stressed out, I'm lost. I'm stressed out, I'm lost. I'm stressed out, I'm lost. Versus when you sit here in the middle, it's almost this phenomenon of like, man, I'm motivated. I got stuff to do today. I don't feel languished. I actually feel kind of motivated. I feel inspired. Let's kick this shit. Let's knock this shit out of the park today. And let's continue the momentum, because I think this is the zone of momentum, is right here where time's not pressing you hard and the future's not sucking you, but it's just like you're in between the flow and you're able to modulate the stress. And if it's not enough, you can get closer to the wall. If it's too much, you can get away from the wall. But when you find that sweet spot, don't let it go, because that sweet spot is the zone of getting shit done, having fun, and enjoying every moment along your journey. If this video was helpful, please subscribe, drop a comment below, tell me how it helped you, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace out, y'all. Thank you so much. Have a good day.